Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ben, and in today's video, we are going to take a in-depth kind of comparative look at the Sauna Pod, which I reviewed a few weeks ago, and see how that compares to a steam sauna. If you take a look at the pod company's website, you will see that there are a lot of comparisons of the Sauna Pod, which we have right here, to the Nurecover Tropic. And they have a list of pros and cons and a lot of reasons why you should actually choose the Sauna Pod over the Nurecover. And so for the sake of science, if you will, we're gonna go ahead and do a head-to-head comparison between the two, take a look at all the claims that they make, and see if there's actually any weight behind it. And just a quick reminder, if you find this content to be entertaining, valuable, or anything of the sort, go ahead, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We've seen explosive growth lately, and it's been fantastic, and I appreciate you guys. So one of the first comparisons would be the ability to put these things together. Now guys, I can just tell you up front that they're very easy to put together. The Nurecover has a few extra pulls and things like that. You can actually get these both put together within about 10 minutes, maybe 15. It is helpful to have somebody help you, but it's not necessary. Now the second biggest comparison that I see the pod company making with the Sauna Pod is just the fact that this is made with non-toxic materials, and they're pushing that pretty hard on the website for really good reason too, because you're actually sitting inside this. Of course, you don't want any adverse health effects, anything like that. And so the pod company, of course, the outside material is made of 100% cotton. That includes everything in this covering right here. The frame is stainless steel, so you don't have to worry about any off-gassing there. And they do claim that it does have a little bit of PVC on the flooring and of course here on the window. They do claim that it's non-toxic, that it is designed to actually be able to heat up without off-gassing anything. I couldn't deny or confirm any of that. However, on the other hand, we do have the Nurecover. And I can't tell you guys that this is made of like a polyester type material. And of course on the inside it's lined with some sort of, it almost seems like, kind of like a PVC type material. I'm not really sure, but the entire inside is lined with some sort of, it almost seems like a plastic material. When that heats up, is that going to off gas? It's very possible. You know, I've been using these things for a while now, and I haven't noticed like any kind of adverse smells. I haven't felt nauseous or sick or anything like that. However, I can tell you just the overall quality of materials. I mean, the Sauna Pod definitely has a beat by a huge margin. I mean, this is a very thick kind of canvas material right here. With the Nurecover Tropic Pro, frankly, if you're not very careful, you can easily break a lot of the seams. It's just a lot, I guess, lighter weight material, so the insulation isn't as great either. That is a very important factor to consider, is just the overall levels of toxicity, if you will, between the two. And the Sauna Pod definitely wins in that arena. Now, the third thing that I see mentioned quite a bit in their marketing on their website is just the heat difference between the two. Of course, the Sauna Pod, they advertise that it can get up to 185 degrees. I believe Nurecover says that theirs can get up to about 130, 135 degrees. And of course, I've tested both of these guys. You can see my previous videos that I've done on those. The Sauna Pod, although I was never able to get it to 185 degrees, I have gotten it up to 182 degrees. And I imagine as the temperature outside gets warmer, it'll definitely make it a lot more capable of getting to 185 degrees inside. That said, of course, it's very hot, so I don't know if you necessarily need it to be that hot. The Nurecover Tropic, on the other hand, I have done a lot of testing on that, and the most I could really ever get this was to about 120 to about 122 degrees inside. The approach to both of these is very different in the sense that the Tropic Pro, of course, this is steam driven, and so steam is a little bit different than, say, like a dry heat. Of course, it can't be quite as hot, and of course the differences between that, you'll have to do your own research, because there's a lot of information on the internet about steam versus dry saunas, and so you're going to have to weigh the pros and cons of that. When it strictly comes to the heat, the Sauna Pod definitely outperforms the Nurecover as far as the advertised temperature that it can actually reach. Now, one comparison that I haven't seen drawn on their website is the red light. So I can tell you guys that the Sauna Pod, it does include a red light, like a rope that goes around the top. It has zero therapeutic benefits to it. It's not actually red light therapy. And of course, Nurecover, they state that their red light rope, it outputs 660 nanometers of spectrum of light, which is supposed to actually have a lot of healing properties to it. Guys, I can tell you that I think it does zero. It's battery powered, it's not very bright, so it's not really outputting a lot of intensity there. So, you know, take it for what it's worth. I think the red light is just there for looks, and it certainly gives it a good vibe. Another advantage of the Sauna Pod is just that it is a lot easier to keep clean. Because there's no water or moisture involved with the Sauna Pod, you don't have to worry about any type of buildup of mold or bacteria, anything like that. So for me, I simply just place a towel on the chair, let it soak up all the sweat. I'll wipe down the floor with a gentle cleaner like vinegar and water, something like that. But otherwise, I just keep the door open, keep it aired out. Very simple. The Tropic, on the other hand, you have to be a little bit more careful. You have to make sure that it's aired out, that you get all the moisture out of there, that's not sitting there, because as you know, the more that you let water sit, the more possibilities of getting some mold and bacteria building up, getting really gross, making it very unhealthy for you. So for me, I've never had that issue, to be honest. I always keep mine outside. However, I could see if you use this inside and you're not airing it out with like a fan, something like that, it could very easily go south pretty quick on you. But as far as the ease of cleaning, hands down, Sauna Pod, I mean, it's dead simple. Since I am comparing these two, I think it would be unfair if I didn't point out one of the most obvious differences between these two. One area that the Nurecover certainly has a Sauna Pod beat, and that is just the overall size of it. So if you look at the two here, the Sauna Pod, it stands at about 5'7". The Nurecover, this is about 6'1". Definitely, as far as the height, this has it beat. You could actually stand inside here, sit down. In the Sauna Pod, unfortunately, you pretty much, unless you're 5'6" or below, it is designed for you to sit. And so maybe in future updates, it would be kind of nice if they actually made this a few inches taller so that you could stand up. Because after all, I mean, heat does rise. Most of the intensity you're gonna feel up here. I think that'd be great to be able to stand in it. The Nurecover, because of its overall dimensions, if you stand up, you could potentially fit 2 people inside. And so that's just something to consider. Let's talk about the price difference between these two. Now, if you shop online and you've been looking at Nurecover's website, they actually run a lot of sales all the time. So the price of the Tropic can vary greatly. It's anywhere from like $300 one day, it can be $450 the next day. That really doesn't stabilize. So if you're considering the Nurecover at all, which I really honestly don't think you should, definitely if it's more expensive, wait a little bit, they'll probably have a sale. Now, on the other hand, the Sauna Pod is listed right now, as of this video, at about $697, I believe. And so it's certainly a little bit more expensive than the Nurecover. I can tell you that the Sauna Pod, just in my opinion, I mean, it is made better. I feel like the overall experience is better. I kind of like the dry sauna inside. I find that the Pod company is just a much better company to deal with than Nurecover. You know, you'll see mixed reviews as far as their customer service. I've had really terrible experiences with Nurecover. They've been really dishonest in a lot of different ways. You know, the bottom line is, if you can afford the Sauna Pod, I would most certainly go with that one. I do have a promo code listed in the description where you can actually get $50 off, and so that'll make it a little bit more affordable to you. Just spending a little bit more money up front, I think long term you'll be a lot happier than if you were to go with anything from Nurecover. Now, the last and final thing that I want to address is the heating units for both of these saunas. Now, they are two very different things. Of course, the Sauna Pod, it has a convection heater in there. It's very similar to like a space heater. I know that they have some patents and things like that, so it's very unique. So far since I've used it, I mean, it seems very well made, very heavy duty. It seems like they actually put a lot of time and R&D into it. And so it's to be seen how long that will actually last. However, so far so good. Now, I have seen a lot of reports about the Nurecover, the steamer, of them actually burning out, you know, starting to smoke, things like that. I don't know if there's been any actual fires from it, but I have seen a lot of reports of those burning out, and that kind of makes sense to me, because if you ever hold one, I mean, they're very, very lightweight. They feel cheap, and I think they are cheap. I think the wiring inside is not a very heavy duty gauge, and so you know, when you have the electricity running through there and it's trying to heat up this water, I mean, it takes a lot of energy to do that. They're tending to kind of burn out, and there's a lot of replacements are having to be made. So there you have it. There are truly some legitimate differences between the Sauna Pod and a steam sauna tent. And so I think a lot of the marketing that they have on their website, yeah, it does speak true. Overall, I find the quality of the Sauna Pod to be far superior overall compared to a lot of the other steam saunas out there. And I would definitely recommend it so far. I'm enjoying it. It's been very reliable. It gets very hot. Now, if you guys have any questions or comments about any of the content that I presented to you today, be sure to leave those down in the comment section down below. Also, consider liking and subscribing and follow along with me as I make these videos. If you want to get $50 off the Sauna Pod, there is a link also in the description as well. I appreciate you guys watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.